what's up guys, Emo Cat Dad here, hanging out with you, bringing you yet another edition of Emo Cat Dad Listens. If you're new here, then what I do is every day of 2024, I vow check out a new band or artist. Check out 4 songs from across their discography, give you my initial thoughts on those songs, rank those songs, and then finally give you my overall thoughts on the artist based on what I just heard. It is Sunday today, so that means it's ladies' night. I grew up going to Warped Tour. Warped Tour, not very well known for, having a lot of diversity on their lineup. So I vowed to not make that mistake. So every Sunday, I've made it a priority to check out a female artist, or at least a band with females in it. Which is why today's band is Dying Wish. So what do I know about Dying Wish? I know they're a female-fronted hardcore band, and that's basically it. I don't know what type of hardcore they play. I don't know if it's, the 90s hardcore that Downset did that I checked out earlier this week, or if it's modern day metalcore or deathcore. I honestly, no clue. I know this band has gotten pretty popular in the scene, so I tend to lean that it's got some metal influence, maybe even deathcore. But honestly, that's just a guess at this point. But without any further ado, let's just jump into Dying Wish. So really when I started hearing about Dying Wish was probably in about 2021. It turns out they do have some older material. None of it's really popped off stream-wise, so I'm just going to check out one song. And the most popular of their early releases is a split with Serration. And the song with the most streams is a track called Veil. Guess what? The intro to this song is just too darn long. If you're new here, I dislike long intros, outros, or musical interludes. This one is about 50 seconds. Yeah, don't dig it. Vocally, I really don't enjoy it at all. I'm hoping it gets better from here, because this style of vocal just isn't for me. The music is pretty straightforward. I don't want to call it generic, because I don't think in 2018 this was very generic, but it didn't do too much extra. The draw for me was the lyricism, which were top-notch, which impressive for a band just starting out. I think at this point they had only released one other EP. So yeah, lyrics top-notch considering those factors. The track ends on a breakdown. I really enjoyed the breakdown, even if that was a bit too generic. Alright, so we checked out their early track. Like I said, I started hearing about this band with their follow-up EP, Fragments of a Bitter Memory. I listened to Cowards Feed, Cowards Bleed. Very metal. Alright, I just said very metal, but this is a straight up hardcore track. There are some blast beats in there, so it's not completely hardcore, but the hardcore elements are what really shines on the track. We get another breakdown here, and unfortunately, again, I'm just going to call this mid at this point. Alright, so last year, they released their album, Symptoms of Survival. It got a ton of love in the scene's music circles, so I'm opting to check out 2 songs from that, and I mean, it's a full length, so it's easy enough to do anyways. The first of which is Torn From Your Silhouette. Please! She's actually, the vocalist of this band, is actually a great singer. So I hope we get more of this going forward, on top of her greatly improved unclean vocals as well. I'm not a lover of blast beats. I can usually deal with them, but when you ruin a perfectly good breakdown with them, then we got some issues. Dying Wish, we got some issues. Alright, and finally, off that same album, I checked out Lost in the Fall, which is currently their most popular track over the last little bit anyways. Okay, I can see why this track's more popular. This definitely leans metalcore after the last 2 songs. I'd say leaned more in the hardcore realm. The cleans on this song I did not enjoy nearly as much as on the last track. They're still there and they're still good. I just didn't like the delivery of them. But I did dig the slowdown portion of the track overall. And of course, it wouldn't be a Dying Wish song without a breakdown. So this breakdown is probably the best out of the three I've heard. But given that I didn't really love any of the other three, I guess that's not saying a whole lot, but this one's the best. Alright, so those are 4 tracks I checked out. Let's rank them. Coming in at number 1, we're going Torn From Your Silhouette. The vocals were incredible on this track. By far the best that I heard on any of these Dying Wish songs, so I'm a big vocal guy, and yeah, this is the track that shines the brightest in that regard. At 2, we're going Cowards Feed, Cowards Bleed. I love me some hardcore, and that's basically what this is. Yeah, the breakdown wasn't great, but most of the breakdowns in Dying Wish wasn't great, so if that's my biggest complaint, then I guess we're in pretty good shape. At 3, we're doing Lost in the Fall. The breakdown definitely held this up and got it to number 3 instead of finishing at the bottom. And we do get some cleans, but again, just wasn't as big of a fan of it, especially when it directly followed Torn From Your Silhouette, which had amazing vocals. And finally at 4, Veil. This should not be a surprise. A lot of times when I'm doing these, it tends to be the earlier songs that end up at the bottom, because just the band hasn't grown yet. They learn so much about themselves and what they want to do, and their latter output ends up being much better. That's the case here. It wasn't necessarily bad production, it was just what they did in 2018. They evolved so much from in just a short amount of time that it's not surprising that this ends up at the bottom. Alright guys, that does it for the rankings. Let's jump into my overall thoughts on Dying Wish. So Dying Wish does seem to play in the hardcore realm more than the metalcore realm. They like their blast beats, and honestly, I could take them or leave them at this point, but it seems to be a regular thing in their music, so I'm able to mostly look past it and still enjoy what I'm hearing. Lyrically, even from that very first song, this band has been really strong in that realm, and I'm expecting that to continue. And the trip vocally that the lead singer has taken is incredible. I hope she keeps up adding cleans into the songs, because she's honestly an incredible singer. And like I said, her uncleans have gotten way, way better over time, and they're definitely at the point where they're very enjoyable, unlike that first track. Alright guys, that does it for me. These are my thoughts on Dying Wish. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Did you love Symptoms of Survival as much as everyone else seemed to that was around me? Or did you prefer their previous EPs? Let me know. I want you guys to be a part of the conversation. If there's some Dying Wish songs you think I would love that I didn't get to in this video, then please drop them as well. So hopefully I can go back and revisit them one day when I'm not doing one of these every single day for you. And finally, give me some suggestions in the comments below. They could be female artists, they could be groups with females in them. You could suggest anything. Finally, if you're new here, I hope you go back and check out my other 80+ episodes of this, at least flip through them, see if maybe you'll find something you like. But if not, you don't have the time for that. I get it. I just hope you stick along for the ride going forward, and the easiest way to do that is if you cut my wrist and hit subscribe. Emo Cat Dad signing off until tomorrow. I want to hear you sad.